What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to a special draft lottery night edition of Pod Snipe Celly. My name is Dan Bradley. Going around the panel tonight, we've got Joel Pernino, Nate HP, and then making his Pod Snipe Celly debut, much anticipated Pod Snipe Celly debut, Tim van Straten. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is either going to be the happiest that you will ever see me, or I'm going to cry my first time on the show.
You're not the only one, Tim. You will not be alone in crying if both of us lose this.
Yeah, we are in for great entertainment no matter what happens tonight. Cyclones fan in the chat asking, are we ready? Yes, we absolutely are.
No, we're not. We're just not.
We're ready for a good show. That's more what we're ready
I'm ready for my heart to be ripped out of my chest and stomped on.
So, Tim, since this is your first
episode, you set your hopes too high.
We've got my wife saying, I want to see someone cry. Just wait. Yes, it's going to happen. Someone is going to cry on the show tonight. Who's it going to be? Let us know who you think it's going to be in the chat.
Oh, wait. Dan, put up a poll.
I'm going to have you do
cry?
That.
Who do you want to cry? Like, how do you want to structure the poll here?
Who do you think will end up crying on the show tonight? That'll be the way that Joel will have you put it, and we can put the poll up and go.
It's going up right now.
But Tim, this being your first time on the show, I want to talk about your hockey fandom. We have the Let's Go Ducks hashtag up. You have been a sports writer with Noop. You've been a radio personality with ESPN Peoria. What are you up to nowadays, and where can the people find more about you and what you're doing?
Well, thank you again, Dan, for the lovely introduction. I'm currently doing a lot of sports betting, both professionally and recreationally, of course. But no, I write a lot of sports betting content for DraftKings, FanDuel. I've already bored HP. That's okay.
He's having some technical difficulties. We knew that might be an issue.
So just, I don't know, you can Google my name. You can see all the stuff I've written. I cover a lot of stuff pretty much every day, a lot of NBA things, just whatever's big happening in the world of sports all across a bunch of different sites across the interwebs. But this is really my only outlet to talk hockey. Like, as much as I would love for the NHL to be a huge sort of betting event, it's not there yet. So this is like my chance to really just hone down and just like get excited for the puck. Even though, to be honest, the drawing of these lottery balls, I think, is more fascinating than any Ducks game that I've watched this year. So basically, I've been looking forward to this exact day for about 6 months.
Yeah, it has been a long time coming. We've already talked on the show about how good Connor Bedard is going to be, how good Adam Fantilli is at the top of a really deep prospect class. I mean, this has drawn some comparisons to the legendary 2003 draft class in terms of depth. It's drawn comparisons to Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel at the top of the draft class in 2015. So we will find out tonight who ends up with those top two selections and really the top 16. But those two at the top, I know you both have been eager to see. Will the Ducks get Bedard? Will Chicago get Fantilli? Will that be reversed? Will neither of you win and both teams end up moving back in the lottery?
The poll is up, so go vote at Pod Snipe Celly.
Chaotic way. Michelle saying, I will cry if Chicago gets the first pick, and that Joel will cry if they don't. So for her, that's a win-win. Yeah, that's probably about right.
It's very accurate.
Limp Bizkit's break stuff on cue. Should the Hawks end up moving down somehow?
I don't think there will be any anger, man. It's just going to be what's that one song? The All Around Me Are Familiar.
Oh, yeah, Mad World.
Yeah, there you go.
World.
That'll be on loop.
Or Hello Darkness, My Old Friend.
Oh yes, that's actually even better. Yeah, no, I agree with Tim.
It's going to be just a slow zoom in on Joel's face as he's just smiling, but there's just so much pain. It's like the meme where it's like holding up the smile face, but then underneath you just see like angry tears.
I'm gonna be that kid on the memeable kid on the interview, like, "How are you having fun?"
Yeah, that'll be
the only thing that's giving me some reprieve while we're about 30 seconds away from this getting going here. So actually, yes. Also, apologies for many of us that might hear our TVs in the background. We can't mute this. Here's your draft odds for every pick overall. Obviously, Tim representing Anaheim, me representing Chicago. Dan's team is not in the lottery. There you go.
They're not in the playoffs either. So
we made an appearance.
Yeah.
There was an attempt.
Yeah. The one thing that gives me a little reprieve is that we have Tampa's, I think, about 20th overall in a deep draft. Hey, I'll take it. And then we have a crazy 4 picks in the second round.
Yeah, lots of draft arsenal in a pretty loaded class. Now, just to recap, because some people may not have noticed that the rules have changed on the draft lottery, where teams are only permitted to move up 10 spots. So Ottawa, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Nashville, Calgary, if any of those teams wins the lottery, they can only move up so far. So Ottawa could move up as far as 2. Calgary could move up as far as 6. Calgary missing the playoffs by like 2 points as well. For them to win the lottery and move up to 6 would just be chaotic. Pittsburgh missed by 1 point. Them moving up to 4 would be bonkers. But we love that.
I've had some tankathons where St. Louis has moved up to get number 1 overall, and then Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff would be playing.
Yeah. What are the how much have you guys ran Tankathon in the last 24 hours? What have been the results? Because I've gone through like so many different runs, but today I just did a single run, and that's going to be ultimately my prediction for how today goes. And I'm sure in a few minutes we'll do the official predictions, but I just have the one run today. I didn't want to spoil it with any others.
So I'm kind of glad you bring it up. I actually didn't do a run today. I've had a little skepticism. I've had a little skepticism on the site. Like there are times when like I'll do it, we get first overall, but then like it stays there. And then there's times I'll do the same thing. It goes to 4. Be honest, like something's up with their algorithm, but I don't know.
I've had Montreal get first overall like 4 times in a row at one point.
Right. It's like, again, there's no way you can really mess it up. So I'm assuming it's fine. It's just, that's how the odds are going to roll. That's how the balls are going to fall. Like,
allegedly.
Yeah, but allegedly. So I mean, you said you did a run today. What were the results of your run today?
So and it's so NHL, and I could totally see it happening. It's actually the prediction that I am going to go with. I would like to formally say that the first overall pick will go to the Detroit Red Wings, who will move up.
Wow.
What would it be for them? Would it be 8 spots for them?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's put the marker back up here. So yeah, Detroit.
Yeah,
8. So 8 spots.
Yeah, Detroit holds the 9. So yeah, moving up 8 spots to get number 1.
So they would get the number 1, and then they gave Washington number 2. So there, back to back, boom, boom. So it'd be Detroit 1, Washington 2. I feel like that's so NHL, and then obviously everything else just stays the same. So the Ducks would end up 3rd, which. Like my brain tells me that it's ultimately a good thing. It's like, oh, you're getting a player who like ceiling wise is better than Trevor Zegras, is better than Mason McTavish. Like you're getting an excellent player, and let's just say Leo Carlsson, right? But like when the alternative is potentially like the guy who's just below Connor McDavid as a prospect, like
that's why this kind of like is hurting and stressing so much, because you're right, like. A name like Leo Carlsson, Matvei Michkov, despite, some of those potential issues that might come, with him getting over to the States and stuff. Will Smith, that's another name that's been popping up there. Like, those are amazing consolation prizes.
They would have gone first. Like any of the top 4 prospects this year, talent-wise, would have been the first overall pick, probably from Jack Hughes, in between Jack Hughes' year and now this year. They would have all been top players. So, like, you have to keep telling yourself that. But at the same time, like, I want Connor Bedard, man.
When you're that close.
Give me him.
Yeah, when you're that close, it's like, it hurts. So, like, but when the last time we saw something like this, which was Connor McDavid, our teams weren't anywhere near close to getting him anyway. So it didn't end. I have to get interrupted. They are about to start.
Yeah, we're on.
Okay, here we go. So Calgary did not move up. That's official.
Oh, wait, are you ahead of me?
I might be.
All right,
Calgary just got picked. That's the only one I've seen so far.
Okay, so they just turned over the 15 pick on my end.
All right, so you hold off. They're just about to turn over 16. I might be the furthest behind. And Calgary.
All right, they just turned over 15.
All right, so I'm behind. Okay. So I'll just announce 14. Everything.
You go ahead and announce, Joel, and I'll try to hide my
pick ahead.
Yeah, you guys are a pick ahead.
Throwing this one out there just real quick. So Corey Pronman with The Athletic, who does a ton of prospect coverage, said if all of the top 5 players in last year's draft were to come out this year, they would be picked in the 6 to 17 range from the top 5 of last year's class. So to show how good this class is. Okay. I need to put the odds back up for 2 seconds here. Okay, everything is chalk so far.
Mhm.
Yep, 16 to Calgary, Nashville 15, 14 Pittsburgh.
They just turned over 12 on my end.
I'm going to not be able to hear you guys.
I wouldn't hate
me. The
12
Buffalo
getting-
Sabres are going to be at 13. So I know we'll be able to have a discussion, but because I'm clearly a good 10 to 15 seconds behind on my cable, I'm not going to be able to hear you, but you're going to be able to hear me, and I'm not going to be able to see you either.
I am absolutely holding my reaction as best I can, knowing that you're going to be just a few.
Well, so I can understand you, but Tim, since you're ahead, if you do win, I don't want you to have to hold it in. So
I'm so nervous.
So am I. So I'm just gonna
I hate this. Why are we doing
down
this?
real quick here, and Vancouver Canucks are picking at number 11, and 12 was Arizona.
I'm going to spoil something
12
because
It was Ottawa, but it goes to Arizona. It
this
would
will
have
bring
gone
peace
Ottawa
of
if they
mind
would've
to
moved in the
both
top
of you.
5.
The St. Louis Blues are not moving up.
Oh, thank you.
I had to
I'm
throw
okay
that
with you
spoiler
giving
out
that one
there.
away.
I
okay
had
with
to give you that
always
one
helps
just,
me a little bit.
but I'm not going to give you anything.
Okay,
else.
so the Blues at 10. That makes me feel a little better.
Guys, I'm not doing well right now.
They just turned over number 8.
A ball of stress right now. Oh, there goes Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit at number 9.
There goes so much for my one tankathon run. Way to go, machines. Making me look foolish.
Oh boy, here we go. They just turned over 7
You
on my
can't see
end.
my hand is going nuts right now. You know what? I'm going to do something fun for the show. We're at number 7. I am going to go off this and stand up and watch.
Oh boy. Make sure you're still in the shot at least, but
And I'm not going to be able to see you, but you can see me just fine.
yeah, we can still see you. Oh boy. Here we go. They have 4 picks left to turn over on my end.
Oh, same, Dan. Woo.
Please not us. Okay, all right, it's okay. Please not us. Please not us. Please not us. Please not us.
Please go to commercial right now. It would be so funny.
They are going to go to commercial, aren't they?
Oh boy. All right, boys. Well, you're hearing me. I'm not hearing you.
Well, now,
Top 3 is about to be virtually chalk here. I guess to be expected. Kind of crazy, but here we go.
I wish you could hear me.
Oh God.
So
why would you come on?
I told you, dude. I told you. It's so funny. They had to do it. Build the suspense.
Wait.
Sweat it out. Poor Joel. Poor Tim. That's,
Hold on a second. Are you guys on the commercial break?
Yep.
yes.
All right. So why am I getting a poor Joel?
Because you have to wait through the break.
Oh, I was like, fuck, what did I miss?
So there's a chance because the Ducks could be 3rd here. And because Columbus could win, then it could go Chicago. That could very easily happen.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they announce these again? I feel like what
do you mean? How do they announce them?
So do they just go 3, 2, 1, even though we're
Yeah.
gonna know who one is by that point?
Yeah.
I think they announce who number 2 is first
to make you guess. Yeah, but they also they like to
I
highlight.
think
They
they
like
do
to
3, 2,
highlight
1,
every
man.
team at each pick, though. That's the thing. So then you're basically saying whoever's picking 3, like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, you know.
Which is why I think now that we've seen what we've seen, that Columbus is moving down. I think now that we know what the top 3.
How would you say that?
Well, so
Because
yeah, hold on a
at this
second.
point-
Did I hear them right when they said it's like number 1 and 2 is between?
I don't know. I had the sound off for that part.
So-
They've only announced as far as
I know, and they mentioned something as they were going to commercial break, saying that okay, either Chicago or Anaheim will draft 1 or 2.
They did say it in the chat before
They
the break.
did.
Because somebody just posted it in our group chat here. Did anyone else catch them say CBJ was 3rd before the commercial break?
I didn't hear that. Oh my God! We still get Adam Fantilli. Let's fucking go! I'll take it. I will. Holy shit! I almost passed out. All right, hold on.
Joel.
It's between
can
the
we
two
just
of
take
us.
A moment right now. If this, I didn't catch it because I have it on mute. I have no idea what you're talking about.
had
But
the
if that
sound on
happened,
and I heard them say, and I was like, I heard that wrong, right? And if I check Twitter, I can confirm it.
all right. So hold on, time out.
Because
While we're in a commercial here, can we discuss, Joel, between you and me, the etiquette that we should do? Because like one of us is going to be elated, the other one's going to be crushed, and I feel like we should try to walk like a line of respect here. Because like the Blackhawks win this, I'm going to want to punch you,
But that
like,
was
I'm
why.
giving you
So
an
that's
opportunity
why-
to make sure that doesn't happen.
So that's why I was doing. I'm out $10 and I don't fucking care. Dan, I will Venmo you as soon as this is over. But Tim, to your point, that was partially why. What do you mean I'm not getting Fantilli? I mean,
Jesse's saying you're not getting Fantilli because you're getting Bedard. That's what he's saying.
Probably.
But Tim, to your point, I agree. Out of respect for each other, that's why I took. You're ahead of me anyway.
Yeah.
So out of respect, if you're gonna win, I don't want you to have to hold your breath, and vice versa too. Like if you know, if I win, you're gonna have to sit there and be like this, and everyone else is gonna know, and it's so I will do the same thing and jump off headset. I'll hop back on, obviously crushed or elated, and we'll just go from there. And then if you win and I hop back on, I just won't say anything, and you go nuts. And we're back, boys. We're back.
All
I am gonna hop back off, and I won't be able to see you either. I'm
Okay,
changing.
so they
the
are
screen.
showing number 3 first of the 3. So they are doing that at least.
Okay, so they are doing it. All right, boys. I will be back. Tim, Godspeed, my friend.
You too, buddy.
Oh God. So yeah, it is officially Columbus picking 3rd.
Okay. All right. They just
Oh my
flipped it
God.
over. So
I hate this so much. I've known that this has been coming.
all right.
basically
Hold on.
since
I'm sorry.
November.
I have to.
Do what you need to do. We've been living for this moment since November, maybe even since before the season started.
Oh my God! Okay, we at least get Fantilli. This is good. I will take that, but the task at hand is upon us.
Okay, so
Unless
that goes straight
everyone
from
else
3 to
watching
1.
is freaking-
So they'll announce number 1, and then they'll announce number 2.
Wait.
Oh,
So they're announcing number 1 first? Oh
Yep.
yeah, they're announcing number
Well,
1.
here's some
Okay.
shit.
And on the left, that is the scene, and it is set now for the final 2. Anaheim Ducks general manager Pat Verbeek, and on the left, general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks, Hal Davidson. Without further ado, Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, take it away. The first overall selection in the 20
Classic Ohio L.
draft belongs to the
Yes! Let's fucking go, baby! Oh my God! Holy shit! Let's go! Woo! Welcome to Chi-Town, Connor Bedard! Oh my God! Oh my fucking God! Let's fucking go!
Because of course.
Oh, baby! Let's go!
Raise your hand if you were surprised by what just happened. No hands up? Of course. That's exactly right. Tim, Michelle is asking if you're okay.
I'm good.
Tim,
I'm fine.
Can we virtually
Now,
hug?
listen. Now,
I would be
all right.
virtually hugging you, but dude, I'm dying right now.
All right. Well, congratulations, Joel. I mean, I'm not happy for you, but congratulations.
No,
I think we can agree that the radical NHL agenda rigged this to the utmost
100%.
degree to get the Blackhawks the first overall pick. They and I was going to get to it with my whole list here, but I'll just give you a little teaser. They couldn't stand the idea of putting out scrubs in their 18 outdoor games that they would put the Blackhawks in every season. Instead, they would have to like give them a star, and they got one. They got one with Bedard. But here's the one consolation. All right, Dan. The one consolation is that Connor Bedard with a pile of garbage is not going to get to championship level quicker than Adam Fantilli joining the Anaheim soon-to-be Mighty Ducks. I'll leave it at that.
I don't disagree with you because you're way closer than we are. You have all your stars in place. Our outside of now Connor Bedard, everyone else from us is still a little bit away. I need to catch my breath here. I'm having wow.
Do we need to get you a defibrillator?
Oh, holy shit. Oh
I
my
hate
God.
this so much.
Oh my God.
I hate everything about this so much.
So I would say the vast majority of fans watching, if they had to rank 1 through 11, the team that they would least want to see get the number 1 pick, it was Chicago. And it wasn't anything to do at all with like oh man, they're going to be so good. It was more just like, are you freaking kidding me? Just with everything that has gone on with that franchise over the last however many years. Like, of course this would happen.
Yeah. Nobody should be surprised by this.
I am.
I said that I was going to hate Joel, and I do. I do.
Tim, hold on. I'm sorry. I needed to be selfish and celebrate that one. I need to give you a virtual hug.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
I know.
Hey. No, all right. So I think the only reason, to be honest with you, that I'm not like totally gutted is because they're picking second. Like, I don't now have to sweat for the next 6 weeks. Okay, it might be Carlson. Oh God, what if they risk it on Mitchkov?
Exactly,
Will Smith.
right.
Like, I can feel confident saying Adam Fantilli, and Adam Fantilli's a freaking great prospect. And I can live with that. I can live with having like a big number 1 center for the next decade. I'm good with that. I just it was wild, man. It was the least likely scenario. Like, the Ducks were 25% to pick first. They were 55 or whatever to pick third, and then just the holdover for second. So like, that was going in the least likely scenario that I had for them. Man. All right. Enough of my venting. I feel like Joel should have his moment in the sun here to talk about what this means for the Blackhawks and the franchise and the city and all that garbage. So go ahead, get it over with.
I need a cigarette and I don't even smoke. This is this is insane. I really was not. I almost am happy. Weeksy kind of, spoiled it slightly for at least us, that I'm watching the live video of the draft party that's at the United Center FanDuel Sportsbook right now. People are going nuts. What it means for us is that this rebuild has just been expedited. This rebuild was not going to be kind of out of rebuild mode, probably for, would I be wrong in saying, at least the next 4 years, maybe even 5 years? I think it would have been a little expedited had we gotten Fantilli too, but I just think now if Davidson can continue to do what he's been doing, he's got first overall and 20th overall in this year's draft, along with 4 second-round picks in this year's draft. Maybe he takes 2 of those 4 and moves them for, moves somehow back into the first round. I don't know. Boo to Joel's joy. Love you, Michelle.
Did you guys realize I was too busy enraged to really notice it until afterwards, that of course they would flip the Ducks. You can't really see it because it's bad, but like, they flipped the Ducks logo was upside down when they revealed the
I did.
card.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Where it's like, of course, like, let's just add it on to just flip that stupid web D.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to like explain to my wife, who I've been like, I've been gassing up Connor Bedard for 7 months now, explain that like it sucks and that he's going to the Blackhawks, which is just horrible. But like now I have to try to spin zone and say, well, actually, Adam Fantilli is going to be this great player too. And perhaps
Hobie Baker winner.
I don't know.
Dude,
I'm
that's
just
the thing.
saying.
Like it's like Fantilli is he's the first overall pick if Connor Bedard wasn't in this year's draft,
Right.
and it's not even close.
Right.
So that's why it's like it's one of those things. Like you heard me when ESPN went to commercial and they accidentally gave away Columbus, and you saw me when they flipped over Columbus's card go nuts because I was still excited because at least the stress, and Tim, you mentioned it too, the stress was off that we were going to fall below Bedard or Fantilli, which again, like we said, would have been fine. Like those guys are all going to be great. The top probably 7 picks are all going to be all-stars and bona fide superstars as you get up to the top 4, maybe even 5. But it's just, we were excited in general to just see 1 and 2. And I mean, Tim, I didn't get to see you. I'm going to have to, Dan, you're going to upload the video along with the audio. So I want to I'm going to watch this video back, not just to be excited again. Not just to watch my reaction, but I want to see your reaction to at least being confirmed that you're going to be in the top 2.
Michelle asking, who does Columbus get? That is a great question.
Where were they at?
They're picking 3rd.
Oh, right. I'm stupid. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now.
I think the most likely option is that they go Leo Carlson. I have heard some talk that there are some teams who think Will Smith has a higher ceiling.
Where did that
than
come
Carlson.
From? Who started this? Like, I started seeing stuff like 3 days ago that said, like, "Oh, Will Smith might actually be the 2nd best prospect." And the class, like, says who?
Second best? Get out of here.
I don't know if it was like McKenzie or whoever, but they were like, "There's a chance that Will Smith could be as good as the 2nd best player behind Bedard." Like, no, like, why are we doing this now? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Will Smith is very good, and I do not want to take anything away from what he did with the National Team Development Program this year. To put him at number 2 behind the 3rd freshman ever to win the Hobie Baker, I'm not going to buy that right now at face value. Maybe down the road that does end up being the case. Michelle's saying, I don't want Columbus to get good because I like cheap tickets. Yeah.
All I have to say to your tweet, Dan, about the whole rigged thing, smart move, NHL. Smart move.
So
does
it
make sense to have a star like Bedard in Chicago? Yes.
Absolutely.
However, Dan, don't try to like put this into the tone that
Tim and I like finally met each other for the first time at your wedding. We were so excited to meet each other.
Oh, I am. I'm seething right now. Guile put up this comment earlier, and I got to go back and try and find it. He says, "You look so calm and relaxed." No, seething with rage.
No, it's the Arthur meme, together, right? Where it's just fist.
Yep, I am the Arthur meme. Yeah, this sucks so hard. And I'm just trying to be calm and relaxed and let the fans who are most directly affected by this get to speak their piece.
What are the chances, by the way, like Joel, our team's in the top 2? Like, could you imagine how much worse this podcast would have been if it was
we both just
like St. Louis and Philadelphia in the top 2? We would have just
Detroit and St. Louis.
This is where
it's been brutal.
This is where I was going to pause everything, all the elation and/or sadness, and say, Dan, with the booking of the year so far here, by not only having us do the live reaction show, but bringing Tim in to have him and I. And sure enough, the gamble pays off where it's between Tim and I.
Batman knew about Snipe Celly. The fix was in the whole time.
Snipe Celly is back. The Blackhawks are back. It's okay though, because the Ducks are about to be here. The Ducks are probably going to arrive in the next year or so.
I would like the record to show that if I had known that us doing a show tonight with the 2 of you meant the Hawks were going to win the lottery, I would have canceled our show and never done another episode.
Totally.
So there's that.
Also, Dan, the reason that I joined this video call like 2 minutes before you went live is because I made a dinner tonight. I don't know why I decided to do this, but the dinner this evening in our Van Straten household was risotto. I'm wondering if cooking an Italian dish played a part in Adam Fantilli, which is clearly an Italian last name, becoming presumably the newest Anaheim Duck in a few weeks. I can't help but wonder that. And I'm thinking, should I have done a more Vancouver-based dish? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is on
elk
me.
stew and poutine. I don't know how good a combo that is together, but at least something like that. Maybe some Vancouver seafood of some sort. Some
Yeah.
Pacific salmon.
I blew it.
One job, Tim. One job.
Did you want to hear my reasons? I know that it doesn't really hit as well now that we're, like 15 minutes out of the lottery, but I did put together reasons of why the NHL was going to rig the draft for each team.
Sure thing. Did want to get this up there, though. Michelle saying never apologize for risotto. Risotto is never the wrong choice.
I haven't eaten it yet. I had to hop on here. I hope it's good. I'm presuming it's good.
Because actually, I just got back from an Italian restaurant tonight, so we both kind of had the Fantilli vibes going. Maybe that's why we were both in the running for him.
It'll be the second best risotto you ever had.
Yeah. I just want to thank Tim for manifesting the fact that I didn't do a tankathon run tonight. Ended up working out.
It was probably it.
Oh, but wait. And also, Dan, I just Venmo'd you $10.
Appreciate it.
I mean, my aggressive tankathons, like 90% of them, the Ducks were picking third. So that's what I was expecting going into tonight. So like, I think the fact that they're not picking third is why I'm just like, okay, it's going to be okay. And now I'm just going to spend the next several weeks pointing out every single flaw in Connor Bedard and pointing out why Adam Fantilli is the true generational star of this draft. So just wait for it on Twitter.
I mean, am I undershooting it or overshooting it or right on the money when I say this is potentially McDavid Eichel?
That's the comparison. Now, I don't know, and maybe you guys know more about like Fantilli as a prospect compared to Eichel as a prospect, but like on the surface, it seems very, very similar to that. And Fantilli might even have a higher ceiling somewhat than Eichel did, which would be amazing. But like it kind of does feel that way a little bit, no?
Fantilli was the third freshman to win the Hobey Baker. Eichel was the second. So as far as the 1A, 1B comparisons, because we've heard the Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid comparisons for at least 3 seasons now. Like we've known this was coming. 2018, the Hockey News called him the future of hockey. Like we've known about Connor Bedard for a long time. Fantilli really kind of emerged as like that, hey, he's going to be second overall. I think around late August, early September, as we were starting to hear the reports once he had reported to Michigan for his freshman year, that, hey, we know he's going to be good, but this kid legit has the chance to be the number 2 overall pick in this draft. And they're like, maybe he'll compete, but probably not. It's still going to be Bedard at number 1, but whoever misses out at 1 is going to get a really good prospect with Fantilli.
Exactly.
As far as the direct comparison, 1A versus 1B, I haven't quite heard that as directly, but I think part of that is to just kind of keep the focus on Bedard Fantilli versus Eichel Fantilli. And I'm trying to get their numbers up so we can just kind of compare their freshman college seasons. Fantilli, I know because I wrote this one out earlier, had 30 goals and 35 assists this season. When Eichel was with Boston, he had 26 goals, 45 assists. So 4 more goals for Fantilli, but 10 more assists for Eichel. Also, Fantilli got the Wolverines through to the Frozen Four this year, where they lost to eventual champion Quinnipiac. So there is some fairness to that comparison, and I think going to Anaheim, where he's going to presumably, I think Fantilli will start next season in the NHL.
I was going to ask that, like, because I can't remember if Eichel went straight to Buffalo or if he was in college for another year. But from what it sounds like with Fantilli, just with his size and everything, they seem pretty confident that he's NHL ready.
Yeah, Michigan is preparing that he's going to be an NHL player next year. Yeah, hashtag stats guy, Kyle. That's me.
Which I'm fine with. I'm like let's make it happen. Like
But-
let's get it going there, and start second line center. And I mean, presumably he's their 1C for the future, and either Zegras or McTavish goes to the wing at some point.
I would like seeing McDavid. I'm looking.
I would love seeing Connor McDavid, Dan.
Send him to
really
Anaheim.
agree with that. Yeah.
I would like the idea of Trevor Zegras on the wing. I just think that gives him more chance to create. I think Fantilli, all said and done, will be a bit bigger physically up the middle. Just in terms of what that could bring for both of their respective games.
He's going to be able to protect Zegras. He's going to be able to protect. Who's your other big guy? McTavish, right?
Troy Terry on the other wing.
McTavish is big, and I was just going to say, like,
bigger.
Fantilli, McTavish, probably Nathan Gauthier as like your 1, 2, 3 centers, like your top 3 centers for the future. I mean, there's a lot of talent there, obviously, but like, boy, that's big.
Here's
like,
the
you
thing.
are suddenly huge now at center. Like that's a long way from when it was, Sam Steele and Trevor Zegras were like the two centers that they thought were going to be leading the franchise forward.
Does this set up a new for Tim and I? Does this set up a like repeat of the 2015 Western Conference Final in like another 5 or 6 years?
I hope so, with a slightly different ending.
Hey, you had us. You had us.
And I think what sucks about it is that everyone and their mother knew, like, yes, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the most unpredictable postseason in sports, but everyone and their mother knew that whoever was winning that series was going to win the Stanley Cup. They were going to be Tampa Bay. Like it was obvious.
That's just how the West was, though. For
it was just dominant. So
2010 until like 17, really, when Pittsburgh finally broke it.
Yeah.
It's 16 is when they broke it.
Well, the Blackhawks, so their pool, I mean, like, they have talent. Like Lucas Reichel's obviously he's up, but
he was our biggest star up until now, obviously.
So he's presumably gonna be sort of that wing alongside Connor Bedard.
Exactly.
Right? And then you have Frank Nazar.
Nazar.
Who by the way was teammates with Fantilli at Michigan.
Yes, exactly. So he's
a little rivalry there. I like it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And then
it's
Korchinski is one of the defense. I mean, like there's a lot of talent there that they just infused really quickly. But like Korchinski, like Nazar, they're probably guys that are a little bit raw still. Like they're a few years from really sort of like
that's the whole thing. So the way it's going to go really is it's like, and ideally I would love to manifest this, like Taves 3rd overall in 2006, Kane 1st overall in 2007. We had some of the draft picks in our system already, like a Duncan Keith, like a Brent Seabrook, Corey Crawford. The list goes on. Jalmerson, and then we brought in obviously the free agents like a Hossa, Sharp, etc.
Yeah.
So it still took a high draft one year, which last year was our decently high draft after trading away everybody. 3 picks in the first round there, Korchinski and Nazar being 2 of them. Who's our 3rd one again? You always have to. Sam Renzel.
It
was it was kind of an off the wall one a little bit.
It was, but it was like, this guy looks pretty good. So there's that. Now we have our big one now, and it's like it still took us another about 2 years to really even be like watch out, that's that young and up and coming team. We don't really know what they're gonna do, but they're frisky, as Dan knows I've been liking to say now. So that's my probably guess. I mean, I'm not going to expect next year like, Hawks are in the play. Like, no, not even close. It's just going to be, hopefully it'll be the Connor Bedard show next year, but that's pretty much it. We'll still.
Connor Bedard, like, what are the expectations for him now? Because like as a rookie, is it fair to say 70 points as a rookie?
I mean, is
that too much?
It's gonna really depend on the hype around him, which he seems like such a confident kid.
There's a lot of hype. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, is it?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, and this actually, I would actually say this was probably the same had he gone to Anaheim and probably Columbus too, really. So pretty much anywhere outside of like a New York market or or an East Coast market, anywhere really. Going to Chicago for him, even with those insanely high expectations, is probably the best for him. Again, I would say Anaheim would have been the same thing here too, because our sports fans here just want a hug. We are not going to like just bash this kid if he doesn't come out and just, win an MVP is his second year in the league or something. Like we're going to like, you're going to see on Twitter, you'll see the haters and everything, but we all know every city has them and they don't ever know what they're talking about half the time. In this case, it's like, Chicago sports fans, especially hockey fans, like we just want to root for these guys. We want to root for them. And we're not going to like sit there and be like, screw this, trade the kid. He only put up 55 or 60 points in his rookie year. Like that's not like for us, like we've been starved for a superstar since, Patrick Kane had a fall off, right? So Patrick Kane had a fall off.
Starved for a superstar.
We've been starved for a
Shut your damn mouth. Starved for a superstar. You shut up.
We're sitting here trying to play the world's smallest violin for Chicago sports.
I was like, did he actually? I had to pause and really think. Did he just say that?
All right.
Starved for a superstar. You're going on mute. We're clipping your mic on the back end here. And you're going to sit in silence.
I can still control it. We're not starved for a superstar.
I feel like I'm talking like a Red Sox fan right now who's been like, I can't believe it's been since 2018 since we've won a World Series.
Yeah.
Like,
it's been since 2015. All right, that hurts a little. No.
I think the one thing, Dial, that we can all agree on is Joel just put his foot in his mouth saying Chicago starved for a superstar.
I'm sorry. I'm saying we've been starved for
Patrick Kane was a Blackhawk like 3 months ago.
I love you, but I agree. No, I'm not. I didn't mean superstar. I'm sorry. I will take it back. My bad.
Right, no.
We have been starved for a competitive hockey team since about
2018.
I mean, they haven't won a playoff series since 2015. I'm counting, but I'm still going to count.
I'm still going to count the bubble playoff series, the play-in series. It was technically a playoff series.
Yeah, the 2020
bubble. Series to get into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was like a playoff series. We got into the playoffs, and then
according to the official hockey reference, the Blackhawks did not win a playoff series that year. They were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, right. All of the goals that Ovechkin scored that round don't count towards his record.
It has been abysmal crap for us outside of beating Edmonton in that play-in series. That was like a tiny little high point since 2018 when we got swept by Nashville. Yes, Dan. Mm-hmm. So that's what I meant. Not starved for a superstar. That slipped out. Sorry. Starved for competitive hockey. So my whole point here being the expectations will be high, but like he's going to be in supportive hands. That's the word I was looking for.
I can't wait to look at all of the tweets about this. Because all I know is that NHL rigged is one of the leading trends on Twitter.
That's going to be the number one trend for the next 24 hours.
Let's find out right now. What's trending worldwide?
Go ahead, Joel.
Yes. The Chicago Blackhawks are trending number one worldwide right now. Let's go.
I never thought I would see like Anaheim or the Ducks.
One quick thing, Dan knows that. Tim, I don't know how you feel about it. Dan knows I'm a WWE fan, and I'm a WWE guy. And typically on Raw Mondays or Friday SmackDown Fridays, the number one thing trending in the world, or at least in the United States. Number one thing in the United States trending is always Raw or SmackDown or whatever the WWE pay-per-view on that day might be. Raw is currently happening as we speak. And the Blackhawks are still trending above it in the United States.
Yeah. Well, for being so starved for a superstar, I think
Anaheim's third.
Yeah. The least we can do is let you trend on Twitter.
Maybe that's why WWE is second right now.
Well, hold on. So number 10 in the United States is just rigged.
Just rigged.
Yeah. Imagine
So-
that.
Hey man. Oh, and as we're talking about superstars, Edmonton just goes up 1-0.
Draisaitl goal.
No, Fogel.
Okay.
Did anyone
Well,
have that on
if-
their bingo
On their
card?
bet sheet.
Sorry,
Not tonight.
Look, I'm going to back up again and apologize for the superstar comment. My brain is elsewhere right now.
By
You
the
need
way,
to
so Dan,
realize.
you
Yeah.
had mentioned when we were talking about Fantilli that he's the third freshman to ever win the Hobie Baker, and you
Yep.
mentioned Eichel was the second. Do you know who the first one was?
Oh, I looked this up a while ago. I could not remember the name. It was a long time ago.
Well, I think it's going to be very fitting.
Oh.
It was Paul Correa.
Oh, wow. Off
should've
the
known.
floor, on the board.
Greatest goal call I've ever heard.
Oh, truly.
It really is.
Also, hot take.
Yeah. So
Hot
real
take,
like
fuck
unless
Scott
unless
Stevens,
you were getting unless you were in a draft with Connor McDavid or Connor Bedard, maybe Jack Hughes, but like I don't know, like Adam Fantilli would be the first overall pick. So
Yeah.
I can take solace in that.
Yeah. So if you're going off the expectation of freshman Hobie Baker winner, and the other two that have done that are Paul Correa and Jack Eichel, if that's the type of player you're getting in Fantilli, you're taking that every day of the week.
Except, well, I mean, I would take it on the days where I can't have Bedard.
Well, yeah,
but
on the day you can't get the dog. Yeah, fair.
Man.
HP asked a while back, do we see Bedard on NHL ice next season? I think so. I think, barring injury, he probably plays all 82.
Yeah.
There's no reason to put him down in the minors.
Well, and next year he wouldn't even be able to go to the minors.
My bad. In the AHL.
It would revert him back to the WHL, where he would have to finish out the season if they sent him down. It would be kind of like what we saw with Shane Wright this past year, where they could potentially send him to Rockford as like a conditioning stint. But even there, it would be he'd ultimately have to report to
the whole thing. The whole thing is like, because I know they do that sometimes. Like with Reichel, when we first brought him up for his NHL debut, they were sparing about it because they didn't want to like make that his first year of his contract. I forgot, it's like they get to play, is it like 10 games or something in the NHL, until if you stay under 10 games your first year in the NHL, like that first year doesn't count. And then the next year it starts your contract. So that's what they did with Reichel. In this case, they're not gonna have to worry about it. It's and Vegas just tied it up. There's no doubt in my mind, like the next long-term massive contract will be, or one of the next ones will be Connor Bedard, and it's not going to even matter.
He should be better than Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, sorry, off the floor on the board trumps Kelly Clarkson. We'll have to put that video up from the Snipe Celly account here one of these days. I'll get around to doing that.
Dan, so I want to go eat my risotto, but I'd like to unveil the reasons that each team was destined to win the lottery.
Please do.
Ooh, I love this.
All right,
Let's
so
go.
yeah, I know you mentioned that only the top 11 can win. I actually did all 16 because I did think that there was a chance that the NHL would rig it for teams to move up, the full 10 spots. So without further ado,
that yet, have we? Because I think last year the Devils only moved up like 7 or 8 last year. We haven't had a team move up the full 10.
Oh yeah, well I guess you're right. Yeah.
Last one I remember.
By the way, before I get to this, can a team win because I know they changed the rules for this too.
Mm-hmm.
So can a team win the lottery 2 years in a row?
They can, but they cannot win the lottery more than like after they win it twice in a 5-year period, they can't win it again.
So there's a chance that the Blackhawks will also get that Celebrini kid next year too.
There's a chance.
Oh, good.
And I will
Awesome.
I will burn all of Chicago to the ground.
Great. All right. Awesome. Look forward to that.
I
mean,
there's
flames from space.
there is a chance we could be that bad again. We don't have much
outside
of Bedard. Can't, as good as Bedard is going to be, knock on wood, he can't carry an NHL team his rookie year to.
Before we get to Tim's list,
yes, I want to hear that.
Chicago has a couple of free agents to sign from their current roster if they choose to keep them. If not, they don't necessarily have to. Chicago currently has $41 million in cap space for next season.
Yep.
They just got outstanding talent there. If they decide they want to pour gasoline on the rebuild now that they know they have Bedard and lock some guys up for like maybe 3-year deals while Bedard is still on his entry-level contract, there is a chance Chicago is a playoff fringe team next season. If not somebody who makes it in.
I
think
much
2 years is
disagree
probably
with you.
more realistic.
Yeah,
personally.
I think so too, but
I'm saying 2 years for sure. We're not talking next season, and maybe we can have a conversation about a wild card spot the following season. After that, I would say it's free game depending on how we draft and how the cap looks and all that good stuff.
I'm going to remind you that Austin Matthews is a free agent next summer as well.
He's not going to come here. He's probably going to go to Arizona.
He's going to Arizona.
What? Why is everyone so confident that he's going to play for Arizona? Because he's from Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, hometown kid, and especially.
Why do we keep doing this with the hometown
Not
kids?
to mention, hold on, not to mention now.
Everyone says that with the hometown kids. No one goes to the hometown. No one. No one in any sport.
I'm now wondering, does Patrick Kane come back? Now I'm going to start manifesting that in my mind.
Because he's from Buffalo, so he's going to go to Buffalo because that's the rule. It's hometown. Hometown, he has to go there. It's the rule.
Well, hold on. That's where I was going.
Why do we do that?
He's going to Buffalo. He's going to Buffalo. He's not coming back to the Rangers.
Why is Austin Matthews going to leave Toronto to play in a college arena for a team that has no sort of hockey support there? It doesn't make any sense because from Arizona, he left. He left there.
Fine. You know what, Tim? You know where he's going? Anaheim.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Well, I was mentioning it for Chicago, but I like your idea more.
I don't think he's going to come here.
Pull a Johnny Gaudreau and go to Columbus.
Here's the thing. I don't think he could come here because we're going to need to have some cap space to sign Bedard in 3 years.
That hasn't stopped the Blackhawks before from shelling out money. All right. I'm just going to get to this list.
Yeah.
All right. Very hungry, so I'm going to get to this here. Reasons that the NHL has rigged the lottery for each team. Starting number 16, the Calgary Flames. They do have a new arena officially on the way. They lost Johnny Gaudreau. What better way to christen a new era in a brand new stadium than by getting, Will Smith, Zach Benson, whoever's up there. The Predators, they're hosting the draft this year. Kind of like a thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Nashville, thank you for being such a great host. We're going to throw you a nice, juicy pick here. You guys have been pretty relevant, had a great fan base. Here you go. The Pittsburgh Penguins. It would have been so obvious, right? Hey, I know you've had Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr and then go to Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, but you're going to need another star to replace him. So here you go. Here's Mitchkov. Everyone could have seen it. The Buffalo Sabres have a 12-year playoff drought. They were forced to trade Jack Eichel. And, after years of being kind of bad, they actually really, really tried hard to make the playoffs this year. They ended the year with 7 wins in their last 10 games. They were trying. And I thought maybe there's a chance the NHL is because the NHL, they hate, tanking, whatever. So it's here you go, Buffalo. Here's the piece that you need.
You've been so bad for so long, and we made you trade your other top 2 picks. So,
and then the final one that was out of the Bedard running, but that could have gotten as high as number 2 for Fantilli was the Ottawa Senators. The team,
by the way, that
I
pick
agree.
reverts. So that pick is going to Arizona.
Right, but if they would have moved up, they would have kept it because it was they would have had it if it was in the top 5. Otherwise, it would be unprotected next year for Arizona. I digress. Sens are going to be sold very likely to that group that's led by Ryan Reynolds. Yep. They need a guy like Bedard to just juice up the cost of that franchise. Come on, Hollywood, pony up. Not Bedard, I would say, but Fantilli. You know what I'm saying. But didn't have to worry about that. Now we get to the Bedard one. So if the Canucks would have won the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, pretty obvious. It's a hometown reunion. It's re-energizing a hockey-obsessed Canadian market in the Western time zone. Want to make sure that the West cares about hockey as much as the East. The St. Louis Blues. I know, Joel, you would have hated this one.
Jesus,
God. Listen, the St. Louis Blues, they have the NHL's respect, okay? Because the St. Louis Blues just had their first losing record in 15 years. They have been a model of consistency, of playing well. They've tried to avoid the tank and the rebuild at all costs, and they would have been able to do that with Connor Bedard. Just saying.
Only 1 cup to show for it. Anyhow.
The Red Wings, who I had predicted at the beginning of the show would win the Connor Bedard sweepstakes.
I legit was with you on that. I really
and to be honest with you, even though the Red Wings, no one really roots for the Red Wings among us because they're just one of those the big time teams. That would have been a franchise that actually I think would have deserved Connor Bedard.
That's another market that I think is way smarter to have a Bedard or a Bedard or Fantilli than a Columbus.
A huge market. They've been in the tank a long time. They're on the cusp of relevancy, but they're not quite there. And I didn't realize this, that the Detroit Red Wings haven't had the first overall pick since 1986 or even a top 3 pick since 1990. That's how long they've been good, but also how unlucky they've been the last few years as they've fallen off a cliff from where they once were. Next, the Washington Capitals. They have Alex Ovechkin, who's chasing history, going after Wayne Gretzky's elusive goal-scoring record. Who better to help him get there than the next savior of the team, Connor Bedard? It just would have made sense for Bedard to take over as the franchise icon for the Washington Capitals. Now we get to some interesting ones here. The Philadelphia Flyers. Now, I feel like the Flyers would have been the one where everyone on Twitter just would have erupted with memes because of John Tortorella. But you can't deny that the marketing possibilities of John Tortorella and Connor Bedard together, that would have been pretty entertaining. That would have been good for the NHL. And not to mention that Philadelphia is kind of having a run right now with the Eagles, with the Phillies. And it would have made sense to further that Philadelphia sports domination by handing them a generational talent in Connor Bedard. The Coyotes. It's Gary Bettman's favorite team. He loves the Coyotes more than he loves his own children, which does he have children? I don't know. The thought of him spawning seeds makes my skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah,
I legit had. I think that was a good 25% of my fear was
him spawning seeds or the Coyotes thing.
Yes.
But everyone would no one would have been surprised if Connor Bedard goes to Arizona. Bettman's been trying desperately to keep that franchise afloat, even though no one wants them there. And also next week is their massive vote on funding for their next arena, which the potential of the franchise of keeping them in Arizona could come down to that vote. So having Connor Bedard coming into the Wings would have been pretty helpful for their chances of staying there. The Montreal Canadiens, it wasn't enough to give them Juraj Slavkovsky with the first pick. They're like, we tried. We thought we'd give you a star. It hasn't really worked out yet. So we're going to do this one more time to re-energize arguably what are they? The second largest hockey market period behind Toronto in terms of just obsessed about hockey.
The Kyrie Irving to back up the Anthony Bennett for all our NBA fans out there after the Cleveland Cavaliers won it back-to-back years, that similar.
The Cavs won it 3 out of 4 years. Can you believe that?
Which was insane.
Yeah. The Sharks have never had the first pick. They've just now hit the sort of rebuild. And I think the NHL would have liked the idea of seeing Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid in the same Pacific Division. Would have made sense. I would have hated it because division rival, but I can't deny that it made sense. Chicago Blackhawks. And these are the reasons, finally, that it was rigged for Joel's Blackhawks.
Smiling through it all.
The NHL's golden franchise gets a star mere weeks after losing former franchise icons Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane. The idea of the golden franchise going even 1 year without a generational talent leading the ship was too much for them to bear. So now that they have Connor Bedard coming, it will help snap their 8-year and drowning playoff series drought. And also, Connor Bedard gives the league an excuse to put the Blackhawks in more outdoor hockey games because having
I don't want to be any more of those.
as the leading goal scorer on an outdoor league team didn't really sit well. So they gave him Bedard. Now they get to put 15 of their games in stadiums against the Penguins and or Capitals or Bruins, and then they can go from there.
I would really prefer to not have any more outdoor. I don't want any more outdoor games. We suck in them.
How many more outdoor sweaters can they make? At some point, man, just wear your regular thing.
I think I own about 4 of them. I went to one of them. Dan and I went to one of them.
That's true.
The Blue Jackets
got spanked.
I think of all of the teams that I have gone through, I think the Blue Jackets were the only one where if they got Bedard, besides the Ducks, if they got Bedard, I wouldn't have been angry. I would have been that's nice. I think I would have been annoyed by every other team. I'm not kidding, Dan. Every other team I think would have annoyed me to some degree except Columbus. Because they're Columbus. They're adorable. Yeah. They actively tried to win games this year by signing Johnny Gaudreau out of freaking nowhere.
Yeah.
They have one playoff series victory. One playoff series victory in their entire history, which was, of course, sweeping the NHL's best team ever, the Tampa Bay Lightning, until this year. And it would generally give the Columbus franchise, the area, hope during a hopeless time.
I'm so sad that we aren't going to get to see what could have been a top line of Gaudreau, Bedard, Line. That's a line where every player on that line is putting up 100 points or more.
You know,
blame the NHL.
I'm gonna be able to live with that.
I'll blame them for rigging it.
I'll live with that one.
And finally, I got to the Ducks. I couldn't come up with any reasons. So that was my list.
That was a damn good list, man. I love all those. I love all of the reasons.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And I think we're probably at time. I have one more quick nugget.
Go ahead.
Hit me.
I don't know. Now, granted, this other team didn't actually use the pick, but I was really trying to Google hard the last time, if ever, a city ever got first overall in two different sports or multiple different sports. The Bears got number
draft lottery.
No, in general, the Bears got first overall, and now the Hawks got first overall. Now the Bears didn't use the pick though, so that's kind of it was a weird little thing I was trying to Google. I couldn't find anything. I stand by. We might need to do some Googling there. I want to see when that has happened, whether it's like NBA and NFL, in this case, NHL and NFL, or like MLB and NBA. I don't know if a city has ever gotten multiple different sports teams to get the first overall pick. Again, asterisk, because
I will do some research on that ahead of tomorrow night's shows. So we can have an answer tomorrow night.
Well, the good news is we all know how long the city of Chicago has been starved for a superstar. So now
I'm not going to
change that to the name of this
they have.
I'm not going to live that slip up down, am I?
Never. Now you add Connor Bedard to a city that just got Darnell Wright. And I think that now you're in business for some real championships coming back to Chicago. Oh, and let's not forget Matt Mervis getting called up by the Cubs. So I expect
I was at his debut on Friday.
Chicago.
I was at his debut on Friday. He played pretty well. He got an RBI.
Yeah, I can't change the name of tonight's episode, but you 100% just gave me the name for tomorrow night's show. So we will be back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Joel, you are out tomorrow. HP in for you on tomorrow's show.
Yep, I will be at a concert, Spirit Box, if anyone listens to them.
Tim, if you want to come back tomorrow and slander Chicago more while Joel is not here, the door is certainly open.
I want to offer up the formal pod. Yes, I'm speaking for you too, Dan, because I think you'll agree with me. I want to offer up the formal Pod Snipe Celly invitation to Tim. Can come on whenever the hell he wants.
Oh, thank you, man.
This was fun.
This is
yes,
true.
I would have said it was fun even if we would have lost and you would have won. This was fun. That list.
We've been trying to get Tim on the show for a while. I'm very glad that this finally worked out and came together.
Well, I appreciate that. I think I'll definitely pop on a couple times all throughout the off season. We'll talk some good
big time team
for you. So
that's fine.
Do that. That's fun. I'm always down for that. Really,
I'll take all the slander. I love
it. Tim, max 30 seconds here. Tell us the story behind your Twitter handle here, because I love this story.
Please.
Oh, yes. So back in 2011, I was new to Twitter, and I was thinking about some clever, fun nicknames. And my first thought was Big Time Timmy Jim, famously from the Tim Lincecum This Is Sports Center commercial, where he's trying to leave the answering machine thing, and he's just going through all his nicknames, and then one of them is Big Time Timmy Jim, and it's like, no one calls me that, before Carl Ravitch is like, hey, Big Time Timmy Jim. So I was like, that's great. So that was my first hope, but it was taken because of course it would be taken. So then I just settled for Big Time Tim Jim, and I just stuck with that.
Which was,
and I ended up making it like my radio name, Big Time Tim Jim. Like I leaned into it and stuff, but I part of me wishes that I was able to get Big Time Timmy Jim, but it is what it is. I think that will always belong to the freak, the franchise, Tim Lincecum, and I'll just settle for being the Big Time Tim Jim.
Yeah, at least you didn't do the thing where you were like, I'm going to put a number behind it. So I'm going to be Big Time Timmy Jim 1 or Big Time Timmy Jim 47 or something like that.
No, I did not want the number. I think it cheapens the handle.
It really does. So also it kind of worked when you were on ESPN Peoria with Jim Matson too. So it was, that's for sure Tim, because Tim and Jim worked out okay. That is it for tonight's show. A reminder, we will be back tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. For Joel, for Tim, my name is Dan Bradley.
Joel, you almost made me forget that I didn't want to punch you. Now I want to punch you again.
I got such a punchable face.
It really, especially now. Yeah.
I will send everyone have a great night. For Dan, for Tim, I'm Joel. We will see you tomorrow night. Connor Bedard, welcome to Sweet Home Chicago.
I hate it so much.